It was a blessing to be at General Convention to represent the Diocese of San Diego. I think a highlight for me was welcoming back the church in Cuba to the Episcopal Church. I'm still not quite sure why it took us so long to bring them back into the fold, but it's exciting to see them once again a part of the larger church. In terms of what the convention did or didn't do with prayer book revision, it felt a bit like it was kicking the can down the road. Didn't seem like they're really making a decision about moving forward with a comprehensive revision, and they want to spend the next 3 years studying it some more, studying what churches are doing already or not doing with the Book of Common Prayer, and to continue to find ways to authorize liturgies for trial use without actually revising the prayer book. So in the next several years, it will continue to feel like a delicate balance line in terms of preserving what we already have with the Book of Common Prayer and adapting it somewhat with some of the important liturgies we've developed since. There was a revival that included members of the public, a lot of energy. Presiding Bishop Curry, of course, was a wonderful preacher during that, great music, and it was just a reminder that the Episcopal Church can bring in a lot of passionate, emotionally affecting worship experiences, and that's a part of what it means to be Anglican and Episcopal too. So I hope that we can continue to bring that sort of energy back to the diocese. He also introduced what he calls the way of love, a rule of life that involves 7 components, and I think whether we use that particular one or another one, that a rule of life can be really helpful in directing our own just daily structures and routines that bring us closer to God. So I hope we can continue as churches and as Christians to look into what sort of rule of life would be beneficial to each of us. We also visited the Hutto Detention Center. It was for women, and some of them had been separated from their children, and it was a deeply moving experience for me, especially when, as we got closer to the building, we could see some of the women, they'd put their hand up against the glass just to kind of let us know that they saw us there. And it made me wonder why I hadn't really been involved with protests in San Diego or even visited one of the centers here. There's 3 detention centers in the San Diego area, so I hope that we can do that soon, and I hope I get more involved in local efforts to just try to keep families together throughout this process. And I guess the last thing I think is great for folks to know about General Convention is that the structure of the convention itself is modeled after the system of American government, a bicameral legislature, and it really works. I think it is a system that allows us to be pretty responsive to how we as Episcopalians are changing over time, but has the sort of checks and balances also involved so that we're really respecting tradition as we adapt as Episcopalians in the 21st century. So thank you again for allowing me to be one of the representatives of the Diocese of San Diego at this General Convention.